Hello, fellow gamers. It's your boy Zero Inc., and we're back with week 6 of the Gaming Debate podcast. And everyone's a little under the weather today, but we are all decided that we're gonna do this podcast. We're gonna get ready for you guys because we're keeping that schedule. We're here to debate. We got some great questions. We definitely, anyone who's watching, if you have some questions and you're still watching by the end of the podcast, definitely ask your question. We will definitely get to it if we can.
I don't like it.
Basically, this is how the game is played. Okay, you have different debaters, and each debater has 2 minutes to debate whatever question we ask each topic. They get 2 minutes, and every time you hear a it always happens. That happens every single time. But every time you hear that ding, that means that the debater got a point for something that he had said. So anyway, guys, Axel couldn't make it today. The schedule today is Hatchet, then Tsunami, then Arch, then Zero Inc. Axel obviously couldn't make it, so he forfeits his points again for the second week.
This is gonna be a short-ass podcast.
Oh no, not really. It'll still take some time.
No,
Yeah.
it's gonna be short.
It's gonna be shorter, but I mean that's what happens when you miss your fifth guy. Anyway, so those are the rules, guys. And then we add up the points. You get 1 point per each point that you make. We add up the points at the end and pick a winner. And we're basically all competing for the top spot. Basically, the championship is going to be an elimination, and we're actually playing for spots in the championship. Like, say, Tsunami wins, okay?
Tsunami doesn't win.
Yeah, if Tsunami wins it all, wins the season, he'll get the top spot, which means he only has to debate one person, whereas in the last place person will have to debate everybody if he wants to win. So we're all debating for the top spot to make it easier to win the championship.
I'm just gonna point this out.
Be known as the master debater.
Yes, exactly, for the first season anyway.
I'm
All right.
just gonna point this out.
Yes.
I can already see myself getting eliminated.
I don't think so. You might come on strong and watch, dude. It's gonna be Arch that he's gonna get into the championship, debate all of us, and win. You watch. It's gonna be something weird like that. But all right.
What happened 2 weeks ago? What happened 2 weeks ago?
Not strong like a
2
man
weeks
with
ago.
bag of trophies.
On
Exterminated.
to the first question, to you, Hatchet.
Boo.
Who is Hatchet?
Now, in the wake of Sony's 20th anniversary, I wanted to ask a couple of questions for Sony. So we're going to start off with the first one. Sony originally had a falling out with Nintendo, which led to the creation of the original PlayStation. However, before creating the system themselves, they pitched it to Sega, who turned them down. Now, if Sega hadn't turned them down, what would have been the benefits of a partnership between Sony and Sega?
Well, I mean, Sega already launched Sega CD, so you kind of get a look at what that could have been. Like, yeah, not a lot of the games for Sega CD were like the greatest, but at least that would have been a jumping point. As they would have had a lot more on the ball when it came to game design. A lot more products. I mean, for those of us who've seen the Sega CD, they came out with a lot of crazy games. I mean, between the Jurassic Park game, the Rise of the Dragon, and that sort of thing. But pretty much the landscape probably would have been the same. I mean, Sega after the Sega CD, they tried to run with the Dreamcast, and Dreamcast didn't work all that great. So, I mean, it's one of those things where they might have been an improved product. They might have been able to get a lot more revenue by, balancing each other out. Let's see. Thinking. But I mean, it probably would have been a lot bigger thing because Sony was probably way more established than Sega was, because Sony was doing, digital like entertainment products anyway, like TV, Walkman, CD players, that sort of thing. So, a technological leap on that front, that probably would have boosted Sega's sale a lot better, But yeah, I'm done. I got nothing else with it.
All right. Well, that was a good round, though. You did get 3 points, and I especially liked when you talked about how they were ingrained with entertainment already to some extent. They weren't really looking to get into games at the time, so that was a really good point. All right, Tsunami. Same question to you.
Poopy.
Sony originally had a falling out with Nintendo, which led to the creation of the original PlayStation. However, before creating the system themselves, they pitched it to Sega, who turned them down. If Sega hadn't turned them down, what would have been the benefits of a partnership between Sega and Sony?
I don't think there would have been any benefits.
Is my mic still too loud?
No, you're good.
All right.
That's actually honestly what I believe. I don't think there would have been any benefits. It would have been another one of Sega's things. How many things did Sega have?
How many things? A lot of things.
Yeah,
Sega,
they had the Saturn. They just had a bunch of stuff. So that just would have been another thing for Sega. And nobody still would have known what to buy because they weren't backing any particular one system, and everybody would have been like, what the heck? Now Sega has another one rolling out. Sony would have started the partnership with them and then probably backed out and never would have been in the gaming industry. I think Sony did way better doing things by themselves than actually partnering with anybody. They were forced to push the system at that point. You know what I mean? Otherwise, they take a giant loss. So I really don't think there would be any benefits between having if Sega had picked that up. Sega did, like I said, Sega didn't even know what Sega was doing at the time. So the only thing they really knew for sure was, Sonic and the few games that they had that were major titles that they were consistently pushing. No, that's pretty much all I got too.
Alrighty. Well, that was a decent round. You got 3 points. I like how you talked how you don't think there would have been any real benefits because Sega didn't really know what they were doing at the time. Which is a fair point because, they really did go in so many different directions so quickly, real quick,
They were coming out with a different thing every year. Every year.
Well, it is what it is, but, that was a great point. All right, on to Arch. Arch, same question to you. Sony originally had a falling out with Nintendo, which led to the creation of the original PlayStation. However, before creating the system themselves, they pitched it to Sega, who turned them down. If Sega hadn't turned them down, what would have been the benefits of a partnership between the two companies, Sega and Sony?
Alright. Well, let's look at it from the perspective of the fallout between Sony and Nintendo. They were partners already, but Nintendo wasn't even getting the benefit from having Sony as a partner. They were making money off of their own consoles, off of the card games, off of their own things. And you know what? They were enjoying that. And now let's look at Sega. If Sega had done the logical thing and had taken Sony as a partnership, yes, it would have given them a big revenue boost when they released the PlayStation, because that was the most advanced console at the time. And to this day, if they were still partnered, Sega would basically be just basking in the money that the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 3, and the PlayStation 2 are making. So it really wouldn't be a benefit to them, except for money-wise. There would be no new hardware that's officially a Sega brand, because they would have burned out their ideas already during that time, which they had. They were just relying on Sonic and whoever the hell else they had as a mascot to carry them throughout the thing. And not even every year, like your brother said, almost every month, every 2 months, they released a new console or a new game or something else new, and they didn't have their head right into place. Like they were just everywhere. They didn't. People didn't know if they were a gaming company, if they were a TV company, if they were a console company, if they were a hardware company. They were just mixed. So for both, if there was really no benefit except for money wise, and it wouldn't really benefit Sony either because they'd just be the poster boy that saved Sega from going bankrupt before dying. And Sega is right now feeling that regret of not picking it up because they're rebooting under their Sonic games. And so far, they've all been crap. They're not the same that we grew up playing. Sony, they drastically grew up. They became something different. Nintendo is having a huge setback too because they did not expect Sony to be their competition. Nintendo was the top of the game during that time, and then Sony comes out of nowhere and just they become Nintendo this generation. I was finishing my point.
Jeez, he was finishing his point. You got 3 points that round. I especially like where you talked about how they would get the revenue boost from it because I mean at that point, Sega really needed that. I mean they needed to find a way to actually get back at Nintendo. So and actually compete. So that was a really good point. You got 3 points that round. I don't know how many points I can make because you guys kind of covered a lot of them, but all right. So on to me. I guess who's doing my points this time?
Yeah, you never told us.
Yeah, I completely spaced. Axel was doing it last time, so
then it's Hatchet.
it's Tsunami. Yeah,
No, it's Hatchet.
Hatchet's already done it. Hatchet's already done it. Hatchet don't want to do it again.
it's Tsunami. Tsunami is doing my points.
Why
No,
don't you keep checking your own points, Zero?
Well, because that would be bias. I could be like, okay, that's a good point, not a good point, not a good point, not a good point.
like I just made about 10 points, guys. Damn, let's go. You all suck.
Yeah, and you didn't even talk yet.
So yeah, that's why I have so I'm actually kind of at a disadvantage because I'm fighting against everybody talking, everybody else's biases.
Okay, Tsunami, are you ready to keep checking your brother's points?
Sure.
All right,
All right,
so
Zero,
same
go.
question to me. Sony originally had a falling out with Nintendo, which led to the creation of the original PlayStation. However, before creating the system themselves, they pitched it to Sega, who turned them down. If Sega hadn't turned them down, what would have been the benefits of a partnership between the two companies? I think Sega would have benefited a lot from Sony. Sony, actually no, technically no, because Sony didn't have all the first-party titles that they do now. They didn't have all the first-party companies that they do now, but they would have benefited in terms of the revenue, in terms of the money, being able to buy, more studios. So if Sega said they needed more studios, games like Shenmue wouldn't have been such of a drain on the money that they spent on different games. Sony would have been able to cover that. Not only that, Sony was very, very distraught about Nintendo backing out at the last second. So, you had that motivation for Sony to make do the best they can to go after Nintendo. And I believe if Sony and Sega had made a partnership, that would have been very, very bad for Nintendo, especially at that time, because you have the influx of money, you have the influx of all these third parties and first parties that are looking to go elsewhere. The new 3D graphics would have been first on Sega. Sega would have had it first instead of the PlayStation. So you had all these different factors that probably would have helped Sega in the long run. Not only that, Sega would still be around today because, of course, Sony would still be backing them. PlayStation wouldn't be its own division. They'd probably all be working under Sega. So all those smart and intelligent people like Mark Cerny and Andrew House would be working under Sega as well. So everybody that started up PlayStation would be working for Sega right now in terms of the gaming side of things. Sega might have also been able to strike out on their own after a couple of years because PlayStation ended up becoming very, very profitable for Sony. You know, so Sega was having trouble keeping up with Nintendo and as a standalone company. So I think with Sony, with the PlayStation,
I'm.
they would have been able to stand on their own. But anyway, that's what's the damage? What's the damage?
1 point.
Really?
Nah, 3 point.
Okay. We all made 3 point. 3 point.
Your brother was like, really?
All right. Well, that was a good round. Everybody tied.
Did that happen last week?
No, that actually didn't happen last week. Actually, this is the first time I think we've all tied in the first round. But on to the next question. Hatchet.
No.
Hatchet. Next question. Sony released a PlayStation in 1997 that gave regular gamers complete freedom to make their own games with the net euros. Basically, they released their development kit to the public. I probably butchered that name, but basically, they released their development kit to the public. They're one of the few companies to ever do that. What benefits or negatives do you think a technology like that or a move like that would have today if Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo did something similar?
Start with the dark side of the moon. Here we go. Industrial espionage is one big fucking problem. You know, that's basically, that's basically giving your competition the playbook on how you're going to do things, how your games are made. You know, gives them insight into your plans for the future. But on the opposite side, you know, you get that's basically a way to tap into things that you'd never seen before. You know, people like other people's ideas for games, other people's style of animation for the game. You know, like you know, this gives you different forms of insight as to how you can go about making a game, characters, storylines, all that sort of thing. Was that a ding, or did you?
Oh no! It just dinged by itself.
I see the bell thinks I'm making good points. So, but no, it's one of those things where you know that can give them plenty of ideas that they can get at next to free. I mean, they don't have to spend all that money on development companies and freaking writers and that sort of thing. They can just rely on their adoring public to freaking throw ideas at them and go, hey, I like that. We could do that. And other companies, might not be as bold to try that kind of maneuver, as a fear of, losing out on, options and the right, and that's another negative. If somebody's got the foresight to try to copyright their idea that they're putting out there with this program, they can potentially lose out on the ability to capitalize on that idea.
Time.
Derailed.
It doesn't matter. You got 5 points being first to go, and a lot of them I was thinking in my head, yeah, these are
No. You slipped. I counted only 4. You said that the bell rang by itself.
Oh no, I gave him one at the end there.
5.
Yeah, he got.
Okay.
Yeah, I gave him one at the end there.
It's okay.
But I especially liked where you talked about the espionage because I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking about the benefits for it, but I was like, that would actually make sense.
And you're a YouTuber.
Depending on the kit, but that was a really, really good point. So, Tsunami, same question to you. For round 2, Sony released a PlayStation in 1997 that gave regular gamers complete freedom to make their own games with the net euros. Basically, they released their development kit out to the public. Now, what benefits or negatives do you think a technology like that would have if it was released today for any of the companies?
Well, besides the fact, like John said, that they had released that kit, at the time they didn't have no development teams and they were trying to back PlayStation. So they were looking for creative intellects. Sony did a lot of hiring after they released that. That's what a lot of people don't know. They released it because there wasn't a school for game development. So they brought in people that they could teach the system afterwards, people that were developing stuff for free, and hired them in. They were creating good stuff, you know.
No.
So it's a good way to find employees. Like I said, like John said, it's a good way to go down different avenues. On the bad side of that, though, nowadays, if you were to release something like that, besides industrial espionage, which has run rampant lately, um, there's the hacking. But you're giving your blueprints to all the hackers. You're like, hey, by the way, I want you to mess with my system. And you know there's a lot of people doing that nowadays, too. So, that could really not work in your favor nowadays. I don't really see there being too many benefits now because, like I said, there is the school for it, so people don't have to just, pick it up and learn it, or they don't have to teach you in a workplace environment the system and how to operate it and how to put it together and how to build things. Um, so I don't really see any benefits to it, and that is my final thought.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I liked how you were. I liked the point you made about them not having the development support for the system originally. Like they had development pledge, but they didn't have all the intellectual people, all the people that they have now, and that was one of the driving forces to get a lot of the first party people that they have. So that was actually a really, really good point. All right. Same question to you, Arch.
No.
Sony released a PlayStation in 1997 that gave regular gamers complete freedom to make their own games with the net euros. Basically, they released their development kit to the public. Now,
No.
what benefits or negatives do you think a technology like that would have if it was released today for any of the systems?
Can I get those seconds back from starting that?
Oh yeah, you're gonna get the seconds back.
Thank you. All right.
No.
So, all right. Well, what I see would be the only benefit of this is that if Sony released their development kit today, um, we would have more people become more interested in taking part of computer sciences, being technicians and all this sorts of things. So it would be like a good boost to the mechanical workplace right now. That's the only thing I can think of it. But other than that, it'd be pure negatives because, like both Hatchet and your brother said, too much fun over here. Industrial espionage, the hackers, and not only with the hackers, they can also, if they once they get their hands on that, they're gonna hack the cloud. They're gonna hack Sony's internal servers, and that's gonna be bad. Remember what happened back in 2011 when Sony got hacked down for almost a month, 3 weeks straight? They lost so many customers out of that. So it's gonna be profit loss, it's gonna be consumer loss, and it's just gonna be a bad reputation. And another bad thing about this thing too is you're giving your blueprints to the competition. Microsoft right now is Sony's biggest competition. If Sony even releases a development kit like that, they can go back into the console business and make a console that is exactly like the PlayStation 4, but mix it in with Microsoft's own works, and it becomes better. And boom, right there the transition happens again. Microsoft becomes a dominant console, gets the big boost in sales, and Sony will go back down as the second-rate company when it comes to the consoles. And let me see, because this is actually a pretty tough question. Um, oh, and I guess another negative too is like there's a lot of people out there that like to mess around with the computers and stuff. So if Sony releases that, they can make the computer so much more better. And you know what will be the point of buying a PlayStation 4? You have the development kit. You can make your own damn console that can run faster than the PS4. It has more memory than the PS4. You can
Uh,
make a. Nah, whatever. I was done anyways.
You got
That was
that was a
all.
good round. You got 4 points. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna hit on now, but you got 4 points that round. I liked how you basically said that you have their development kit. You could basically make your own games, on a system that is similar to whatever that would be. Especially with all the tech savvy people we have now, which is actually a very very I don't know. That's a very, very. That would be a very bad situation. So good round. So anyway, same
I'm sorry.
same question to me. I have no more points left, but I'm gonna try. Sony released a PlayStation in 1997 that gave regular gamers complete freedom to make their own games with the Net Yaroos. Basically, they released their development kit to the public. Now, what benefits or negatives do you think a technology like that would have if it was released today for any of the systems? Wait a minute. Okay, everything went silent. Okay, so what do I? Everything went silent. I was like, oh my gosh, something happened. No, but I think there would be a lot of benefits if you did it right. I think you could create a separate, system that doesn't have as, to the metal development kit as like a PlayStation would, like the PlayStation 4's API would. You could create a separate one just to see if you can get more programmers, more producers, more everything. If you don't know, Polyphony Digital, the guys who created Gran Turismo, they came from that system, and they had several developers who actually were well up into the 2000s and went on to people like Activision and different other places that we have now. So not only did Sony benefit, but so did a lot of these other third-party companies. A lot of these startup companies started on that, development kit. So I believe it does benefit you in the sense if you do it the right way, because you have the Unity engine, you have the Unreal engine, you have all these different engines from all these different companies that you are able to use if you spend the money to do it. Now, if PlayStation allowed their API on a easy to use interface, kind of like you have things like Project Spark. You have games like Little Big Planet. You have creation games like Mario Maker that people are very creative on those things. So if you were able to somehow create some sort of separate system type development kit for it, I think that would be that could only benefit the industry overall. But it does, allow people to have insight on basically what the company is doing, how low the API goes. Basically, if you don't know, one uses DirectX while the other company uses, OpenGL. So basically, they're always, taken from each other. But anyway, that's my time.
Time.
I didn't say any more points. I said anyway, that's my time. So what's the damage?
No points.
Yes, no points.
That's messed up, bro. That really is messed up.
-3.
-3 points. Ha! 3 points.
3 points. Oh, dude, now I'm thinking he's just coming up with this off the top. 3 points. Yeah, we'll just give him 3 points this round.
I fucking zoned out after you said, well, let's see.
No, it's definitely 3 points.
Okay, 3 points. 3 points.
Oh. I wasn't here. I'm gonna go get a big potato.
Well, that was a good round for everybody. Except me. Except me. But anyway, guys, we're going to move right along. Hatchet, question 3, round 3. GameStop has recently started to refuse selling Xbox or PlayStation bundles that include the digital download codes along with the purchase. Is this a smart move for them? And is it good or bad thing for the industry?
It's a basically I see it as one of those things where it was self-preservation because whenever something like that, when people buy these bundle packs with the digital content, all that stuff, nobody ever goes straight to Sony. Nobody ever goes straight to Microsoft. They always beat up the poor guy at the counter at the GameStop, going, "Well, I bought this here and it didn't work, and I don't know what the hell. Your code's all fucked up and stuff." And so their poor guys behind the counter going, I don't know what to do," and he's hemming and hawing trying to figure it out.
I told him to get out.
Yeah, I know you did. And you're like, I don't care. Take your money and fuck off. But no, it's one of those things where, it's one of those moves that it's going to screw things up for these companies, for the industry a bit, because they have to actually come out with like either a physical disc or some kind of other way to redeem the content that they want to add with bundle packs. Or they're just going to have to frickin' put it in, implement it right from the get-go without any kind of patch it, or even they're going to have to like patch it in later, which is kind of a waste of time, effort, and money. It does take away from a lot of promotions that a lot of these stores are trying to do, because if GameStop's not going to do it, GameStop will ultimately lose the business, because there's other people that are willing to do this, like Amazon. It would be more than willing to do digital content for fuck of it, for like just for the hell of it. Amazon, freaking there's what was it there? I'm trying to think of the other names, but there's other companies that'd be willing to do the digital content for bundle packs. There's
Time.
Yeah, okay, thank God.
Thank God.
You forgot about Walmart.
And Best Buy. Yeah, anyway, you got 5, but you did get 5 round. You did get 5 points that round. I like how you were talking about how it was basically like self-preservation, that they had to do this, in terms of for a lot of different reasons. There's plenty more, which we'll get into, but I'm not trying to waste any points. If someone's got more points. So anyway, good round though. Definitely good.
You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot, Z.
Hey, Z, throw some points out there for me. Go for it.
No, I'm good on that. All right, Tsunami. Same question to you. GameStop has recently started to refuse selling Xbox or PlayStation bundles that include digital download codes along with the purchase. Is this a smart move for them, and is it a good or bad thing for the industry?
GameStop's retarded.
That's
I shouldn't
a
have
point.
said either of those.
That's a
I
point.
apologize to everybody for both of those. Anyways, they just they get an idea in their head and they make it seem like a good idea, and it's usually not. The reason why they don't want to sell those packs is because they know that 90% of the time you get the bundle pack and it's not the game that you necessarily want, so you're going to trade that game in and go get the game that you want. If there's no game to trade in, then that's not going to happen, and GameStop's not making any extra money off of that. So, of course, they're thinking about the profitability side of the bundle packs and not doing the digital codes. However, like Hatchet said, because he actually completed what I was thinking along those lines, it hurts them in the long run, because the companies around GameStop are going to sell the bundle packs and people are just going to go to them whenever they want a bundle, which is losing out for GameStop, because they don't have those people coming into the store checking out their video games and checking out the inventory and purchasing besides doing the bundle. Yeah, it's a dumb idea. Ian.
Well, you got 3 points that round. Hatchet is running away with this week.
He's fat and bald.
And actually Arch is still in it, so I'm pulling for you, dude. But anyway, Tsunami, I really like the point how you were talking about how they want the if there's no game to trade in, then they're not making any money. That was a really good point. All right, Arch, same question to you. GameStop has recently started to refuse selling Xbox or PlayStation bundles that include digital download codes along with the purchase. Is this a smart move for them, and is it a good or bad thing for the industry?
It's a stupid idea for them. It is really stupid because if you think about it, the only reason people go into a GameStop is to buy the fucking bundle with the console and the game already. You're getting money out of it, and you're getting a lot of it, so just go with that idea. Not only that, not only do they sell games and consoles, they sell phones, tablets, and accessories. That's extra revenue. This really shouldn't make a dent to them. And it's bad for the industry because nowadays, everything is going digital. Sony is making a lot of profit out of their PlayStation Store. Microsoft is making money out of their Xbox Live and their Windows 10 purchases as well on the computer. Steam is making money as being the best digital distributor of games. Amazon, Best Buy, and Walmart are stepping up their game and are taking part of giving the digital codes to games. If GameStop decides not to do this anymore, they're going to go out of business because that's the only reason people go in. They go in there to get the digital code, or they go in there to buy the digital card for the money. That's the only reason I would walk into the GameStop. To go and buy a PlayStation Network card. That's it. I don't do my purchases in the store anymore. I do them on the PlayStation. So, and they're just looking out for their own greedy selfishness. They're looking out for their own selves. And it's greedy, yes, but I do see it why they're doing it because they are losing some money, but it really shouldn't be a lot of money because GameStop still is going to be the main video game distributor in the country. That's not going to change anytime soon unless they make a change. And the way they do that is by bad business and bad reputation. If they refuse to sell this, people are just going to go buy their consoles elsewhere, and that's going to definitely hurt GameStop in the long run. They're going to lose the money. They're going to lose their fan base. They're going to lose their customers. They're going to lose their stock market is going to go crashing down, and they're just going to be wiped off of the map. Simple as that.
That's pretty extreme, Arch.
It's as simple as that because the only reason GameStop's still surviving is because of the digital content. They have the PlayStation Network cards. People go and spend $50, $100, $200, so much money into those game cards so they can have money on the consoles. That's extra revenue to them. But if they see it as not enough just because they have digital content being sold with the consoles, they're not thinking clearly. They're literally getting this business out of it because it's going to come eventually where digital content is going to be the thing of the future, while physical copies are dead. I know, I hope not too, but we don't have a choice. It's going to happen. We're moving with the times. That's what GameStop's got to do. They just got to move ahead with the times. They got to learn to adapt.
I still hope not. I'm gonna quit gaming if that happens.
Is that his time?
Oh, no idea.
Yeah, his time's over.
Oh, okay. I was like,
It was actually over when he ended it first. When you first made the comment towards him.
Oh, okay. Well, you got 4 points.
That was harsh.
Yeah, you got 4 points that round. I did like when you talked about. Let's see. I'm trying to pick which point I liked best.
The stock market.
Yeah, actually, the stock market point was pretty good. That was a pretty good point because I mean, it wasn't hit on by anybody before you, so I mean that was good. And people going in to buy those bundles. That was another good point, or buy the PlayStation Network card or the Xbox Live card. That was good. That was a really good point. All right, so same question to me for round 3. GameStop has recently started to refuse selling Xbox or PlayStation bundles that include digital download codes along with the purchase. Is this a smart move for them, and is it a good or bad thing for the industry? You know what? I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I believe this does postpone the digital move because they are the biggest retailer in the world right now in video games. So I do believe it helps postpone the move. And normally I don't back GameStop when they do stuff like this. But if they say basically, we want physical discs instead of the digital discs, that would be, I mean, and I think that's probably what they're going for. They're going to say, we want, because most people want physical discs with their stuff. So basically they're saying, you know what, you want you want physical discs. But the problem with that is a lot of those bundles actually hold, like 1 year of EA access, along with it, or 1 year of Xbox Live, or 1 year of PlayStation Plus. If they put physical discs in there, then a lot of the, consumers lose that. They lose the ability to get that extra bonus that you would get because they have to pay for that physical disc that's in there. So, it's a good and a bad thing. But I do believe it helps postpone the industry's move towards digital. It's also like, Hatchet, hit on a little bit. He talked about how it's survival. You don't have a game to turn in. You're not making any money off used copies. You're not making any money off of used sales. So if you're not making,
definitely what I said.
yeah, if you're not making, well, Hatchet started it, then you continued it, and then, but they're not making any money off of that. So it's understandable that they would have a problem with, the digital codes that they put in bundles. Amazon sells digital bundles, with the digital codes. They sell digitally. You have other companies that do it, but if you can get the physical copy in the bundle, that might allow gamers to go to GameStop instead because they want that physical disc. Because if everything is going digital, you're going to want that digital disc, you're going to want that disc, because if everything goes digital, you're not going to have it, you don't have a proof of purchase. A lot of people don't realize that when you get a code, that's not proof.
You have been timed out.
All right, what's the damage?
3 points.
It's always 3 points. I
you
never
sure
get
that-
above 3.
You've been on a 3-point trip tonight.
I'm telling you, I can't get above it. I can't get above this hurdle. All
so
right.
What I missed while Zero was talking, I wouldn't even get a sandwich.
Okay.
Based on Zero's consistency.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Very consistent.
I
Very
think I've
consistent.
gotten 3 points every round too. I don't want to hear it.
No, you got 4 points in round 2.
Oh, my bad.
All right, round 4. All right, guys. Hatchet to you. Nintendo recently revealed Pokemon Go, a companion watch that will beep when you get close to a Pokemon in your real-world location. Are these types of things the future of mobile gaming, and do you think they will become commonplace?
Are they gonna give you a Pokeball to go with the watch?
I hope they do. I hope they do.
Pre-order today and get your free Pokeball with a Pikachu inside. Yeah, this is actually becoming more commonplace than you really know. I've been playing a game on my cell phone called Ingress, which it's a geo-mapping game. It uses GPS on your phone to map out your city, and there's invisible portals, and you go around capturing portals all over your town at landmarks, and you have to physically walk to these locations. And this is motivate because a lot of people need motivation to get out of the house these days. They need motivation to exercise. They need something. It's a lot easier just to sit at home, and have things come to you. And with games like this, this is a way for your kids to interact. They can trade their Pokemon. They can walk. Get them outside. Get them doing exercise. That way, we don't have a bunch of fat, lumpy kids sitting around, going, Mom, Ben Gay, my aunt is playing World of Warcraft. But it's, there's loads of games out like this already. They're not as virtual as this new one looks. It looks like it's going to be like this Pokemon Go looks like, but this is the next logical step in getting our kids to exercise, getting people out there, and these things have a large following. The Ingress game that I'm playing, there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people playing this game, and they have communities that come together. And it's a way of meeting new people, because I get notifications on my phone all the time going, hey, we're doing a build up over here, and so this could start clubs. This can start. You can meet new people, see new areas, and it adds a level of excitement to it because you never know what's going to happen. Because like with Ingress, it's. Oh, I'm going to finish the point. Fuck it. With Ingress, you never know when you're going to run into somebody from the other team. Because it's you got blue team, you got green team. I'm on the blue side of things. You might run into a
Time.
kid. But with this Pokemon Go, you're gonna get a Squirtle jumping at you.
You got 3 points that round. I like how you made the point where it gets people to get up and go. It gets people to travel around. It gets people to move. Which gaming. I mean that's technically mobile gaming, but it gives you more incentive to do that when it's fun like that. So that was a really good point.
No, it's calling us back.
Tsunami. Same question to you. Nintendo recently revealed Pokemon Go, a companion watch that will beep when you get close to a Pokemon in your real-world location. Are these types of things the future of mobile gaming, and do you think they will become commonplace?
Tsunami's not here right now. Please leave a message after the beep.
Okay, you forfeit this round.
No, forfeit.
Forfeit? Okay, next round.
Okay, so let's see. The question was what?
Oh my gosh, really?
No. Don't read it again. He knows. Don't read it again.
What? Shut up.
Nintendo recently revealed Pokemon Go, a companion watch that will beep when you get close to a Pokemon in your real-world location. Are these types of things the future of mobile gaming, and do you think they will become commonplace?
They already are commonplace.
That's it.
Like Hatchet was saying, I mean, there's actually multiple games doing that right now. There's shopping games doing that right now. I forgot what the name of that big shopping one was, where you post yourself in whatever store and however many different locations you post yourself in. You could be the top poster, and then you get sent coupons to go to other stores, and I don't know. It's just they got all kinds of weird stuff like that now. Mobile gaming apps have become huge. Like Hatchet was saying, it's just going to create more forums and more people, and I mean, it's commonplace. But mobile gaming's it's a big industry. So actually, we're going to see that grow in general over the next 10 or 15 years. It's going to be just as big as console gaming because you take your phone with you everywhere. You can't take your console with you everywhere. So, well, you can, but it doesn't mean you can play it. I can take my console with me to work, but A, it could get stolen, or B, I can't play it. So I like I said, it's something where I haven't gotten into mobile gaming at all myself, but it's something that entertains a lot of people. So, and that's all I have to say on that topic.
All right, well, you got 3 points that round. Congratulations. I especially like how you talked about the shopping one and the fact that it's already commonplace. That was a really good point. Moving on to Arch. Same question.
What the name of that app was, though, for the shopping?
I'm not sure.
Look it up.
Don't think so. Foursquare. Foursquare. Ha! I got it. I figured it out.
Never mind.
All right,
Go on, Zero.
Arch. Same question to you. Nintendo recently revealed Pokemon Go, a companion watch that will beep when you get close to a Pokemon in your real-world location. Are these types of things the future of mobile gaming, and do you think they will become commonplace?
I don't. They're the future of mobile gaming right now, but it's only for a matter of time until we get into a really good app, which is VR and AR. Because we already have the Oculus Rift, we have Project Morpheus, we have these other companies coming out with their own virtual reality headsets because they want to make an industry out of VR. That's going to be the next big thing. That's going to be the future. But how both Tsunami and Hatchet said, this is actually a good idea to get people moving, to get them walking, to get them out of the house. Because the only time we had gamers actually move around when they're playing a video game was Wii Fit or Wii Sports, and that didn't last very long. And since we can take our cell phones pretty much anywhere, all you need is just one push of the screen, and there, boom, you're playing the game already. But you're also being active. And another thing too, it's um, it's revolutionary as well. Not a lot of people expect this to be happening at this point in time right now because we do have still limited technology, and it's predicted to happen next year or within a certain amount, within 10 to 15 years as well. But it's advanced, it's revolutionary, and it paves the way. It's like the perfect starting block for everything else that's gonna come into it. For all we know, we'll probably see PlayStation 4, Sony, and Xbox doing this later in the future. Like say PlayStation 7, Xbox, whatever the hell they name it. It's gonna be the next big thing. VR, um, live action is gonna be the next big thing. And another thing too, um, it gives people, you can find new friends, you can find new people. Hell, you can find love for all I care. You can find your long lost brother. You meet people. It makes you more social, more active. And that's pretty much it. I'm done.
Well, that was actually a good round for you. You got 3 points. I like how you talked about the social aspect of it, the meeting, really getting into meeting others, and like Hatchet started with forming the groups. You started about meeting people, everything else like that. So everyone hit on those social aspects of it, and I thought that was a really good point. So I guess it's to me.
Boo.
Yeah, me and my 3 points or less. No, anyway, Nintendo recently revealed Pokemon Go, a companion watch that will beep when you get close to a Pokemon in your real-world location. Are these types of things the future of mobile gaming, and do you think they will become commonplace? Well, first of all, I think they will become commonplace, and I also think we're going to see more of them. You have, like, how do you say that? Xperia phone. There's Xperia phone, the Sony, where you can play underwater. Like, I mean, you can actually have that phone submerged for 30 minutes. Sony doesn't recommend it, but you can have it submerged. I mean, having effects like that added with these companion apps and these different watches and everything else like that actually adds a lot to the experience, because you have Nintendo. They did promise that they were going to give us a new way of playing games, and this is definitely an evolution. I mean, the possibilities are endless. You have different holographic imaging now. You have holographic imaging on stage and stuff like that we've seen at Coachella and everything. Imagine that and Yu-Gi-Oh! Being able to do Yu-Gi-Oh! In a holographic setting, being able to do. I have a feeling we're going to see a whole lot more companion items like watches or different things, because that's just the new wave of things. You're going to get a new way to play games. It's just, it's nice to see that you're not sitting at home all the time. You're definitely going to be out doing stuff. It also allows you to go to new locations, see new things. Who knows what the future holds, but I definitely want that Pokeball. But when it comes right down to it, I see definitely more apps. I see, like I said, apps are huge on mobile right now. Mobile has exploded in terms of revenue. But the problem is that mobile really counts on those big fish to spend extra money. So with something like this is something that's fun. This is something that's a community-oriented thing. So you don't have to count on the big money, because this seems like something that's just cool. I mean, imagine that for your PlayStation 4. Having a watch that does notifications and you can beep, and all of a sudden you know what's going on PlayStation. The implications of this, in terms of TV even, are huge, in terms of everything. All right, what's the damage?
3 points.
Yeah, 3 points.
I see.
Well, you said a lot of stuff we already said. You said those
Yeah.
don't count as points anymore.
You know what's crazy though is before they came up with this Pokemon Go concept, there was a thing. I want to say it was late '90s, around like 2000-ish, like the beginning of 2000. It was they gave you a scanner, and you go around and you scan the barcodes on.
Oh, you mean the QR code?
Yeah.
No. It was like the regular barcode. It was on like boxes of cereal, on toys, on like all these different things, right? And whatever barcode you scan, it would give you a monster. And that's what I just thought of it as we were talking about this. This is like that was basically the precursor to this Pokemon Go project. Is they had this thing where kids were scanning their breakfast cereal in the morning and coming up with a monster to battle somebody else in the neighborhood.
Well, I see it working a lot like one of those. You remember those little, I forgot what they were called, but they were like little keychain, and you had like a pet that you had to take care of. Yeah. It wasn't Digimon. It was like just like a pet or like yeah, you just had to like keep the pet alive, that was your thing, and you had to feed it, and it would beep when it was hungry, it would do a lot of different things. Well, I see stuff happening like that. I mean, the implications are crazy.
They had a battle version of that too. They had ones where you can link the two little pads together, and they would fight. They would battle it out, and the loser would climb. What? No, it was before. It was.
I mean, the dog would poop, or like whatever pet that you had that would poop. They would, you would have to pick up the poop. You would have to feed them. You had to do all this stuff, and it would beep. And the whole job was to keep them alive. That was the whole thing. So I was like, I miss those little keychains, but I see that would be actually pretty cool to see how many Pokemon you have on you. Doing battle out there. I mean, just imagine.
Johto rule. You can only have 7 at a time.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Come on, dude. I mean, who wouldn't want to play? Dude, Yu-Gi-Oh! Would be a great thing, for something like that. So, if Konami will ever actually do it.
Yeah, but now that you mentioned Yu-Gi-Oh! You guys remember the duel disc that they made us toys?
Yeah. No, I would freak out. I'd probably have to kick the guy if I saw 2 guys walking down the street, jump out and go, "It's time to do." Like, what the? No, it's a beatdown time.
Dude,
are you kidding?
That would be sweet.
I would be.
Put it on YouTube.
I would be all over that. And not only that, if you saw the Microsoft, you were getting a little bit off topic, but that's okay. But if you saw Microsoft, they had that camera that showed you what the HoloLens saw. So could you imagine watching like TV battles of Yu-Gi-Oh! Or TV battles of Magic or TV battles of Pokemon? Could you imagine seeing that on screen? Them seeing like the HoloLens. You're seeing a lot of implications with this stuff. So, it's nice to see that Nintendo and everybody's starting to move forward with more apps, I hope PlayStation is doing VR, but it'd be nice to have, they actually came out with the watch themselves. I forgot what but it's like it shows your heart rate and everything else, so everybody's moving forward in that. So,
yeah.
It's the next logical step, but that would be awesome, dude. I would totally jump out of a car and be like, "It's time to do it." You would have to kick my ass a couple times, bro.
Oh yeah. But speaking of the next logical step, what's the next question?
Actually, the next question is round 5, so we have to ask the audience, whoever's still watching, if they can pose a question that they would like us to answer or talk about.
Darth Schooley was watching. He wanted to know if there was a live chat open somewhere for this. And no, there isn't. Unfortunately, 0 is a moment.
I haven't been able to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out, but I haven't been able to figure it out yet. But I'll have it next week. I'll have it for you next week.
Tech wizards in freaking digital land, if you can help this little douchebag get that going, that'd be great.
Yeah. I only know how to do the in-thing chat, but yeah, definitely, we're definitely gonna have a chat next week. I just gotta figure out how to do it. I'm still learning, guys. I'm still learning with everything. This is this is only like the 6th podcast we've had. Everyone else has had like 50, 100. So if you got a question, definitely ask it.
Well, boy, I gotta tell you what.
Or we can just call it a night, because... When do we start?
No, we're good.
Dude, it's been like an hour. Probably even less than that. Whiny little retard.
Fuck kind of flying little fuck that you bald headed piece of shit.
I'm gonna give it about I'd say 3 more minutes for whoever's still watching to ask a question, and if not, then we'll go with the backup question, the bonus question.
Don't check on YouTube.
So,
I
yeah,
already
guys.
checked YouTube. There's nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing on Google Plus either.
people hate us now.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
Well, it's because there's no light.
Too many.
They can't chit chat with each other while they're listening to us.
I know it's my bad, but I'm still learning.
If there was a movie that you would out there in the market that you would like to see turn into a video game, what would it be?
Ronda Rousey Sex Simulator.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I have no.
Views expressed by Mark are not.
Yes. Are not the views of the rest of the podcast, guys.
Except your brother, he laughed.
No, it's funny, but that's not. I'm not looking forward to a movie that has that.
No, I'm just making a joke.
Like movie to video game. So like I don't know, like
Donald
Silent
Trump
Lamb, the
Simulator.
video game. Silence of the Lamb, the video game. Oh no. What was that one? Idiocracy, the video game.
Oh, that would be fun. That would be interesting. Definitely interesting.
Or how about this? The Republican candidate video game.
Mad Max. Oh wait, I'm
I'm talking movies, and you're talking politics. Nobody cares. America's gonna
Donald Trump's a
burn,
movie
and
star.
we're all gonna move to Canada.
Oh, Germany, fuck that.
The Ghosts of Mars, the video game.
That would be interesting. That would be very interesting.
Ooh, what about Mars Attacks, the video game?
Hey.
Or what's that one where they're in the ocean, that deep sea station? They get attacked by like some fucking liquid monster thing. Like there's one of the scenes she's like face to face with it. It comes like the water comes out at her like this, and then it takes the shape of her face.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That
I can't think of the name of it.
I know what you're talking about.
was right now either.
The Abyss? No.
Yes, that was it. Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh, some bitch.
What if
Yeah, the
Oh,
other
you don't
one,
think
the other underwater one was Spear.
Oh, okay. Ooh, Sharknado, the video game.
Fuck no.
Sharknado. Mad Max.
You already said my man.
Mad Max is already a video game anyway.
I know.
What about
Good question. So,
Well, the last question I kind of delved into with the past question, but hey, we can do it. I gave everybody some other points.
American Pie, the video game.
All right, so round 5.
the
This was the bonus question of today. It was. Hold on. Wait. What's going on? Here we go. Yeah. It was. Does the influx of different companion devices for mobile games also help push console gaming forward as well?
What?
Yeah.
To you, Hatchet.
Yeah, it does. I mean, we're looking at a time period where freaking companion apps on cell phones, on tablets, laptops, make doing things with video games a lot easier. You see the app for Destiny. Being able to shuffle your inventory around, being able to offload stuff so you can keep moving with the quest instead of having to stop, offload, go back into orbit. You're able to freaking communicate, see who's online as you're leaving work, and online, so that way you can set up raid parties for different games or set up your team for freaking Call of Duty. There's with the PlayStation apps, like the PlayStation app with how it interacts with the Playroom on tablets, where you can draw stuff and put it on a screen for your kids to play around with the Game Room camera. It's a whole new way to interact with the games, keep up with the games that you're playing, and be able to freaking or even show people what you're doing with games. Teach with the Warframe app, you're able to show, okay, this is my gun, this is the mods I have on it, and you're able to teach people how to mod out their characters and their weapons. It's a better way to do a tutorial for people who are new to the games. There's so many different avenues that this takes on, and like even people that are like they want to know what's going on with the game before they buy, like, or even in the console itself. You can demonstrate, hey, this is what the characters are looking like. This is what I can do on this game, and this is what I've been doing with the game. And with that, you're able to freaking, push the product. And one of the greatest things for a product is word of mouth advertising. And if you're able to demonstrate that, that's.
You're not allowed to go first anymore, Hatchet.
Fuck it.
I refuse to allow Hatchet to go first for the rest of the season.
He hit all the points you would hit. It's fantastic.
All right, you got 6 points that round.
Oh, well, we already know who won. I give up. I'm not going to answer.
I
give up.
And by 4.
But you're still playing for points there, Arch. Don't you want to be extra above Axel? Because Axel seems to like to, so you're playing for a place in the championship, so maybe you don't have to work so hard to win. But Hatchet, you got 6 points. I especially like how you talked about all the avenues that it actually opens up, especially, things like the Destiny app where you can actually shuffle around your game data, without actually being there, seeing who's online. It adds a lot to the game. I thought those were some really good points.
Almost there. You stole my
Adam,
points.
you're fired. You should have given me this question way ahead of time. You could have texted me that a long time ago.
Next week.
Next week, we're asking that question, by the way.
What?
But thank you, Adam.
What question?
Adam is watching, and he just texted me. With all the choice-based games recently, i.e. The Walking Dead and Until Dawn, and
That's it.
no.
Wolf Among Us.
Wolf Among Us, and there was
Game of Thrones, Tales from the Borderlands.
Never Alone.
Never Alone.
Beyond Souls, Heavy Rain.
This question besides the catalog.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have the games list.
Yeah.
No, but I'm trying to think of it specifically. Sherlock Holmes, that was the other one. Do you see this being one of the major new genres of games, or just a fad that will die off?
That's a good one.
Oh, that's a good one, but we'll save it for next week. We'll save it.
Because Hatch was quick to say, "Oh, next week." He doesn't want to lose those 6 fucking points on me.
But
hey, if I do that one now, I still go first, and you all are still asked out on points.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I'm
All right.
going first next week, and that's one of my favorite genres, so we can just hold on to that question.
So, Tsunami, same question to you. Does the influx of different companion devices for mobile games also help push console gaming forward as well?
No.
Unfortunately, I do have to say that it will never do anything for console gaming, no matter what Hatchet says.
I'm right, you're wrong. You're small, I'm big.
That is true.
All right, calm down,
You
Matilda.
are bigger than me. However, no, the truth is, they're trying to meld a whole bunch of different things. I mean, it's not just with apps and mobile gaming, but I mean it's VR and regular gaming and all kinds of things. You saw it with Sony doing it with the PS Vita and all the different things it could do with the PlayStation 4. Microsoft has added, of course, their little keyboard and all this stuff. Nifty little
Windows
extra
10.
they can do with theirs. So, I mean, apps aren't the only thing that are
Dark.
boosting the situation when it comes to consoles. But as far as apps becoming a bigger force in the console industry, I would have to say that I agree with Hatchet on that. You're going to see a lot more mobile app forums. I mean, 8 hours a day, every day, we are working. Except for, a couple days a week. But a lot of times, if you're working for a company like mine, you are working overtime. So I'm working anywhere 5 to 6 days a week, 8 hours a day, to stay connected with my groups and my forums. I need an app for that. I need the Destiny app, or I need the
The Facebook game. The PlayStation.
Who's beating on something?
the hell is
Stop
that?
that.
I don't know, what is
Um,
that?
So, but yeah, like I said, there's gonna be a lot more apps like that. I'm sure we'll see a Call of Duty one here soon. Okay. Are you done? Um, that's pretty much all I got to say. That just like completely threw me off track.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
what's-
you got 3 points that round.
No, hold on. So you can finish your point against this stupid kid outside my room again.
Kick their ass.
Oh, what if I could?
Well, you got 3 points that round, Tsunami. So congratulations. I especially like how you talked about how you were working a lot, so you need those apps to actually, keep you in tune with what's going on.
Alright, hold on, give me a second.
Man, this is why I'm a big proponent in tasering children.
It is what it is. I mean.
Okay.
Well, it wouldn't.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Same question to you, Arch. Does the influx of different companion devices for mobile games also help push console gaming forward as well?
No. Because, yeah, they could be very helpful tools right now because perfect example, the Destiny app, you can change on your inventory, you can change on your gear. You can give gear, you can do all this stuff, you can see what's online, you can set up raid groups, PvP groups, you can do whatever. Anything you can do on Facebook or Twitter. But it's not gonna take over console gaming as a whole as well, because it's never gonna be as powerful as an actual console. Like the PlayStation app, as we know, if you connect to the PS4, and you can use the phone as a second screen or as an actual remote control to control the PlayStation 4. It works, but it doesn't work at the same time as well because sometimes it doesn't even read it. You have to connect it every single time you want to connect your phone, which is a hassle. People just want it to be connected on the spot and there, boom, they can just use their second console. It also goes as well with the companion apps. Watch Dogs companion app was buggy. They really didn't do anything at all to help the game. The Grand Theft Auto iFruit app didn't help at all. All you do is just take care of a fucking dog. That shit's all over the place, and you didn't do anything with the game at all. Um, the Call of Duty apps that we've seen out there, they don't do anything with the game at all. All you do is just go talk to your clan, and that's it. You don't do anything at all. So the only app right now that actually has been helping out with the game is the Destiny app because it actually you can actually see while you're playing the game the things that you're doing. You can see you get a new exotic, you can see you trade in an old exotic, and so on and so forth. But it's never going to take over because mostly what they do with this companion app is just so you can talk to your clients. They don't help at all with the game. You don't skip the game's time forward. You don't equip this for your character. You don't tell your character go take a piss or do this or do that. It's just there because they want to make it because it gives them a little bit more of a credibility wise. That's what all these companies are doing now. They're releasing companion apps just to give more credibility, more accessibility to the games. But in reality, they just come short of it. The games don't have that many accessibility with the companion apps because they're not supposed to be interconnected. It just doesn't work. And that's it. That's all I got. To be honest.
No, you were just about the time.
Well, I like how you talked about, all the negatives to it, with apps being buggy, and things not working right. So it does actually affect console games if they try adding these things to it, and consoles in general. So that was actually really, really good. You actually hit it from a side that, we weren't hitting it on. So I guess it's up to me.
Hey, Zero, I think we should skip you and just give you 3 points.
I know. That's what I got 3 points every single round. So
Wait, how many did I get? You didn't tell me again.
you got 3 points. You got 3 points.
I heard four. I heard the last thing at the end.
No,
I think actually he got like 5 or 6. Are you sure you were counting right, Zero?
What? Yes, I'm sure I was counting right. I'm sure I was counting right. Trust me, it's
Are
fine.
you
It's
sure?
fine.
Because I'm being serious. I did hear 4 games.
Well,
I
no,
heard
because
four.
I did that, which
It
you know,
could
and
it could be
Yeah, maybe
ringing in your
you should
ears
just
too
stay
many
away
messages
from the
in the middle.
bell.
no, it's all good. It's all good. You know, I mean,
All right,
you got
now
3
for
points. You did good. You did good.
now
I was just checking. I didn't want to be screwed out of points.
It's all good. I wouldn't screw you out of points. Trust me. You don't need to be screwed out of points. You're making your comeback.
you're doing a good job of it as it is.
All right. Last to me, does the influx of different companion devices for mobile games also help push console gaming forward as well? You know, I spoke on it a little bit when I was talking about the last question. Yeah, I think it does absolutely. You know, does anybody remember the Illuma Room? Like, I was
No.
stoked for that. Like, the Xbox, the Illuma Room, like, I mean, where everything was illuminated and stuff. I mean, if they start adding, you know, watches, if they start adding the Illuma Room effects, if they start adding HoloLens, if they start adding all these different things, that's only going to make our experiences better, based on, of course, the things that they add, you know, like, of course, you have your apps, but then, you know, like, even little watches. You know, like you heard about Siri. You know, you've got Siri who, you know, is like, you know, you can ask her about the news that day. You can ask her to turn on your lights. You can ask her to do all this different stuff. Now, imagine if that was part of the games. You know, like you could, like they're already starting to do it with tablets, where you can, where you are like the commander in the Division, and you can on your iPad, you can actually play on your iPad. Without actually being there. You know, they're adding it to all these different devices, which I think is absolutely stunning because you actually get access to all these different things that can help your gaming experience grow. You know, but I see more of that, and not only that, holographic images. You know, not just virtual reality or augmented reality, but actual, you know, like Star Wars, Star Wars type stuff where you see the hologram, you know, where you got the little hologram. In fact, they also did just recently. They had an Omegle thing on YouTube that was like a first-person shooter. You were basically telling people where to go on Omegle, and they were your avatar. Like they were the avatar, and yeah, you definitely got to check it out if you haven't yet on YouTube. But they were basically the avatar for all the different people on Omegle. So they're starting to really
Time.
give you interactive experiences. All right, what's the damage? 3? Did I get 3 again?
No, you finally broke the plane. You
Yes!
had 5 points.
No, I counted 2.
What? He had
my
like
God.
5 in that conversation. He did good on that one.
I was gonna say his podcast imitated real life and he was pointless.
Oh my gosh, man. Well, don't worry, Arch. You can take my points away next week. You're the one who's doing my points next week.
Ooh.
No, make Hatchet.
Huh.
See,
I
I'm
was
kind of at
actually
a
thinking-
disadvantage. I'm actually at a disadvantage because I had to deal with Axel last week, and then I had to deal with my 3-3-3 every round this week, and I got to deal with all your different personalities. And actually, I like Hatchet when he's actually doing my points because he's the only one who actually.
Next week I'll say okay, 0.
Hey, it's not my fault you went last and just rehashed.
I know. Last is very hard.
I'm trying to think of what I know you were talking about the thing that can tell you the weather, turn on the lights for you. That's not called Siri. That's the iPhone thing. That was
Isn't
they-
it Siri? Isn't
No.
it called Siri?
No, there is a program called Siri where you're like Siri. Remind me to give flowers to what's her fuck, and
Hey.
it goes,
Yeah, that's for the iPhone.
Punch
iPhone
Hatchet
has to
in the
be-
face.
no, the Siri does it too.
Yeah, but the one they talking about it had a name. Cortana? No.
Yeah, and you have Cortana with Xbox too. Yeah, Xbox is getting Cortana soon. Yeah.
There's Cortana, there's Siri, there's
What the hell is Cortana? I have not heard.
and Google's taking that route too with on the phone because on my phone if you go Google start program whatever, and it'll do it. If you tell it to call somebody, it'll call them. So I mean,
I can't remember.
That's what I think. I mean, you have Cortana. I think we should have Crash Bandicoot. I think PlayStation gamers should have Crash Bandicoot, and you can go Crash. Tell me what the news is today, or Crash. Go to this app, or Crash.
No. Why can't we have Kratos?
Banjo-Kazooie,
Or Jack or Ratchet. Ratchet.
Ratchet and Clank.
We need Kratos because every time he says something, he's gonna be like, "For Sparta!"
Well, see, I wouldn't want that. Like, you're like, okay, give me the news. Well, I haven't heard of. No, you don't want that. Come on, dude.
Yeah, dude. I'll be like,
Oh, hey,
Kratos.
We could have
Kratos.
Shepard.
I'll be like, Kratos, wake me up at this time.
Hey,
All right, I gotta do these up. So I'm gonna actually pose a question that we actually didn't get to because it was more of like a personal thing. Basically, this is from Darth Hooley, and while I'm doing the points, with TGS coming up next week, what are your expectations of the conference, and what are you looking forward to seeing at the show, if any of you are watching it?
I
Are
am
you
not
guys
watching
looking
it,
for?
so-
Okay, are you guys looking forward to anything that will be shown there, like Persona or I mean, anything?
when is TGS? Wait, what? Next week? Really?
Yeah, TGS. Yeah, Tokyo Game Show's next week. Yeah.
I know.
I mean, it's terrible to listen to. Like, I mean, sometimes they're really bad about their translation.
Yeah, I was about to
But
say. They're trying-
but you know what? I don't care. I'm just watching it for the games. I'm gonna watch it just like I did last year. I'm gonna watch
the
it. For
bad
the
part, the thing I don't like about TGS on my side is half the games you see, unless you get something
Not his mustache.
that can play. No, something that can play the different regions.
This
What
is
was that?
fucking
The region
brutal.
locks, Hatchet that we were discussing. You
Oh,
can't
the
play
region
every game from every region. Yeah.
Yeah, everything's
Um,
coded. So I mean,
you're only gonna get to play half of those games are gonna be in the United States. So.
Yeah.
Which is kind of lame about watching the Tokyo Game Show because they actually release quite a few games I would love to see ported over, to the United States region that we're not even going to get to play. Last year, I think 75% of the TGS was just showing stuff that they were releasing pretty much only in Japan. So
yeah, I miss the days where there was no region code. Like you just, oh, I picked up this game in freaking China. Here, slam it in the console. Let's go. And that's fucking horrible. I hate region coding. It fucks up everything.
I am not gonna watch it because I do not have cable.
It's called the internet.
online, I think TGS is online only anyway, isn't it?
Well, another thing too, computer shit. Like I don't even know how I'm still managing to come to these hangouts. My computer's slow as fuck. So yeah.
Because you're using our bandwidth.
No.
Yeah, I can adjust it. I can actually adjust it and make like if
Ooh, I
you're-
got an idea. Let's shorten up the bandwidth so that
Or how about you guys buying it?
Yeah, our excited thing is gonna be like Max bedroom.
Nah, but the other reason why I'm not gonna watch it, well, is because of how your brother was saying. And Hatchet, the region code shit. I mean, come on, there's gonna be some good games there they're gonna announce, but yet we're not gonna get to play it just because we live in America and because Donald
Yeah.
Trump is running for president.
Enough with the Trump. But anyway, but no, it's one of those things where the region coding on discs just pisses me off because there's been times where I bought discs that were region coded for freaking like Australia or freaking like Singapore or freaking and like freaking Asia, Europe, and you're like you can't watch them over here because we're like everything's freaking locked in region.
Well, you
1.
see, me, I plan on watching it because there's a lot that are actually coming. You got Tales of Zestiria, you got Dragon Quest, you've got.
yeah, but those are all games we saw at E3.
No, they weren't. They weren't at E3. That's why they're
Yeah,
gonna
they
show.
were.
Well, they're gonna show the actual gameplay. Like they showed a little trailer for each one, but they're gonna actually show gameplay. I think for everything. They're also showing Persona. They're doing the trailer for Persona. Well, I'm the Persona guy, I guess. But they're showing the trailer from Persona. You liked Persona 2, Tsunami. So I'm not sure if Hatchet Disgaea. You have Disgaea 5. That actually wasn't shown at E3. So, you know, I mean, there's some things I want to see that are going to be there. But, you know, overall, it's you know, I mean, I watch all of them anyway. I mean, that's part of my shtick. That's part of my Kickshaw angle. I covered it last year. I'm going to cover it this year. Let everybody know what my thoughts are on the conference. I thought Sony did a great job at TGS last year. So
They did, but like I said, I mean, half of the games that we saw last year we didn't even get, and you even said that in your coverage last year.
yeah, that's true. You don't know what you're going to get, but it's still fun to watch the trailers, man. and PS4 is not region locked, so you can actually buy Japanese games. You know,
What about the disc themselves? Those always go to the console thing about the disc as well. The disc could be region locked as well. The downloads can be region locked.
it just wouldn't be localized. You'd have to do subtitles because it wouldn't be localized.
I like reading.
Reminds you of that Final Fantasy. Yeah, back in them olden days. All right. Anyway, the winner. Who's got the clapper? Who's got the clapper?
Come on. We all know it's Hatchet. Don't give a clapper. We know it's Hatchet.
The winner is
Applause, motherfuckers.
Arch. No, I'm kidding. No, it's Hatchet. It's Hatchet. But actually,
What the hell is this? What?
but Arch got second place.
Oh, I did?
Me and Tsunami are coming up the rear.
That sounds really gay. I
Yeah.
apologize again if I said that, but that sounded really bad. That on something that I don't do. It's okay
No
for other
clapper,
people
no
to do
clapper,
it,
no
but-
cheering for Hatchet.
No.
Oh my god.
Oh, hold on.
Dude,
No, so now we gotta play the other one now.
he's gonna hit the, yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna hit that wah wah button. I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's about right.
I hope so.
No, Tsunami doesn't do things like that.
No,
Tsunami does things like this.
He's gonna hit like the porno music.
we're waiting. No.
It's
Well,
I'm a fucking rider. You don't wanna bang with
My
me.
sounds aren't working.
oh. Well, congratulations, Hatchet. You have won another week. This is my podcast, and I can't seem to pull out a win to save my life. No, but nah, it's all good. I like all the debating. I like covering all the topics. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Tune in next week, same time, 8:30, for who's gonna win next week. This was a fun podcast. We definitely covered some pretty obscure topics. We didn't want to cover everything that everybody else is covering because that just gets really, really boring. So anyway, guys, that's 8:30 Central Time. That's 9:30 Eastern Time, and 6:30 Pacific.
I was
So
about to call
anyway,
you out on
guys,
that right now. I was about to call you out on that. I'm like, you never mentioned the other time zones.
don't forget to rate, subscribe, and comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know how we can improve. We're always trying to improve. I know we need a chat. Darth, I know we need a chat. We're definitely going to work on that.
And check out our review of Mad Max. It's going to be coming up this week.
Yes,
What about Metal Gear? You guys forget Metal Gear Solid 5, the greatest game in the world.
everyone reviewed Metal
Everyone
Gear.
reviewed Metal Gear.
In their grandmother's dog. Oh my god.
Alrighty, guys.
Oh,
We'll see you next week. Peace.
Trump 2016.